Clark is getting back on the golf course again this offseason, participating in the Annika golf outing. And she has a couple of caddies that are going to be taking the course alongside her in the form of Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hull. Sophie and Lexie kind of called this shot, or especially Sophie did, back before when it was first announced that Caitlin was going to do this event.
Caitlin Clark just landed not one, but two caddies for her upcoming golf tournament, and one of them is none other than Sophie Cunningham. Yes, the same player everyone thought might be on her way out of the Indiana Fever is now showing up to carry Clark's clubs. Meanwhile, the entire WNBA offseason has gone so silent you'd think the league went into hibernation. Has a sports league ever faded from your radar so fast you almost forgot it existed? Share your thoughts in the comments.
You could get into the comments section. You see there's Caitlin Clark with Nelly Korda, who, was impressed with Caitlin's poise on the golf course last year, even with the crowds, and said she got into women's basketball because of Caitlin. Sophie Cunningham says, Caitlin Clark need a couple of caddies. Lexie Hull with the smiling face or whatever that is and some beer cheers. And Lexie Hull says, sign us up. And you thought that was the end of it, right? At least I did. I did not think we'd be revisiting that. Just felt like the cute little remnants of the Instagram comments section. But it is actually...
Here's what's happening. Caitlin Clark is set to play in a celebrity golf tournament. It's the kind of off-season event athletes take part in when they're not training or handling business behind the scenes. But this time, she needed caddies, and not just any caddies. The plan was to bring in special guests who could make the tournament more fun for fans and media alike.
Also have the GOAT, Caitlin Clark, bringing Lexie Hull and Sophie Cunningham along for the ride as golf caddies at her golf tournament.
Enter Lexie Hull and Sophie Cunningham, two of Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever teammates, both showing up to spend the day on the golf course, carrying clubs and giving advice on which iron to use. On the surface, it looked like a fun, lighthearted off-season moment. Teammates hanging out, showing chemistry off the court, and enjoying themselves. But here's where things get interesting. Sophie Cunningham's future with the Fever has been uncertain for weeks. Rumors have swirled about whether she'll stay with the team, whether she's happy there, and whether the organization values her enough to keep her around. Adding to the mystery, the Fever's official social media has barely mentioned her, almost complete silence, which made fans wonder if something deeper was happening behind the scenes.
Now taking her talents to the golf course, where she will join Clark for the Annika Pro-Am tournament next week. Unlike Clark, however, Cunningham will not play in the tournament. She and Fever teammate Lexie Hull have committed to be Clark's guest.
So when Sophie suddenly appeared as Caitlin Clark's caddy at this golf tournament, the internet exploded with theories. Some fans took it as a sign she's staying with the Fever. Others saw it as proof that relationships inside the team are solid again. A few even thought it confirmed the organization's commitment to keeping her dot. Or maybe, just maybe, Sophie had a free day and thought carrying golf clubs with Caitlin sounded like a good time. Either way, it's got everyone talking.
Clark has opened up the opportunity for both Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hull to be a part of this huge non-basketball event. So again, when you talk about Caitlin Clark opening things up for other people, it's not just on the basketball court. That is the kind of influence.
The announcement came from GameBridge, which is connected to the Indiana franchises and the Fever organization. They revealed that Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hull will be caddying for Caitlin Clark alongside professional golfers Nelly Korda and Lauren Yin. The event is scheduled for November 12th, giving fans about a week to get excited about watching basketball stars step onto the golf course. And honestly, this should feel like a much bigger deal. Just a year ago, if you told people that Caitlin Clark would be playing in a celebrity golf tournament with her teammates as caddies, it would have dominated headlines, national news, trending topics on social media, countless articles. The whole thing would have been a major event. But now, it's happening quietly and most people barely seem to notice. That brings us to the real story. The WNBA offseason has been unusually silent. The league that dominated headlines last year, breaking viewership records, selling out arenas, and generating constant media coverage, has almost disappeared from public conversation. Think back to a year ago. Caitlin Clark was still in college, yet the anticipation around her joining the WNBA was enormous. Every game she played drew millions of viewers. Every interview became a talking point. Even people who had never watched women's basketball suddenly tuned in. The league was riding a wave of momentum that seemed poised to change everything. Then the season happened. Caitlin joined the Fever, bringing unprecedented attention to the league. Viewership soared, attendance climbed, merchandise sales exploded, but somewhere along the way, that momentum stalled. And now, during the offseason, when teams should be nurturing interest and keeping fans engaged, the league has gone quiet. Part of the problem is simple. There's just not much happening. No major trades, no blockbuster announcements, no storylines to follow. While off-season lulls are normal in sports, the WNBA needed to maintain the energy it had built. New and casual fans needed reasons to stay engaged. Instead, they got silence. Another part of the problem stems from how the league handled Caitlin Clark during the season. She faced constant criticism, drama, and negativity. Other players made comments. Analysts questioned her impact. And for new fans, it became exhausting. People came to watch basketball but ended up caught in a cultural battle that had little to do with the game itself. One NBA media insider reportedly said it's become problematic in the WNBA to not hate Caitlin Clark, which is astonishing. In the NBA, constantly criticizing a star like LeBron James makes you a troll, but you're still part of the conversation. In the WNBA, it seems the public expects you to join the negativity or risk being judged yourself. That's not a healthy environment for a league trying to grow, and it's probably why so many fans tuned out. People didn't want to deal with all the drama and negativity. They just wanted to watch good basketball and support players they liked. Instead, they got a league that seemed more focused on internal conflicts than building on its momentum. Now, in the offseason, interest has tanked. Stories that would have dominated headlines a year ago barely registered today. Caitlin Clark playing golf with her teammates as caddy should be a fun, engaging story. But instead, it's just a minor blip most people won't even notice. The Sophie Cunningham angle is more intriguing. She's been one of the most important pieces for the Fever, bringing shooting, toughness, and veteran leadership that a young team needs. Yet for some reason, there's been this odd push from fans wanting her gone, often for reasons unrelated to basketball, which is exactly the kind of unnecessary drama that has plagued the league. Her role as Caitlin's caddy could be read in a positive light. Maybe she's happy with the team. Maybe relationships are strong. Maybe the Fever are signaling they'll prioritize keeping her. Or maybe it means nothing at all. She's just being a good teammate at a golf tournament. Reading too much into these moments is exactly how rumors and drama get fueled. Lexie Hull's presence makes sense. She's been Caitlin's teammate, they have a solid relationship, and she seems like the type of player who would enjoy a fun off-season activity. No drama there, just teammates supporting each other. But the whole situation highlights just how much has changed in a year. Last season, anything involving Caitlin Clark became a major story. Every move, every comment, and every appearance was analyzed, discussed, and debated. Now, she's playing in a celebrity golf tournament with teammates, and the general public barely notices. Some of this is natural. Novelty fades, people move on, and sports have cycles of interest. But the WNBA can't afford that kind of drop-off. The league needed to convert casual fans into committed followers, keep the momentum alive, and continue building its audience. Instead, it let interest slip away. Even social media can be misleading. Comments about Paige Booker's fans being K-pop style accounts that retweet posts but don't actually watch games aren't far off. There's a lot of online noise surrounding women's basketball that doesn't translate to real viewership or attendance, and those metrics matter far more than trending hashtags. Right now, those metrics are down. And it's telling. If Lexie Hull had been announced as Caitlin's caddy a year ago, it would have been national news. Today, it barely registers. Everything that once dominated headlines now barely gets attention. A clear sign of how much the WNBA's offseason momentum has faded. Every connection between players, every off-season activity, and every social media post used to get attention. Now, it's just another event that most people barely notice, and that's unfortunate for everyone involved. The players worked hard to build momentum, and Caitlin Clark specifically brought unprecedented attention to the league. But that attention wasn't properly managed or sustained. Now, the off-season feels almost dead, and the excitement from just a few months ago seems like a distant memory. The golf tournament itself should be fun. Caitlin's actually pretty good at golf, which makes sense given how some basketball skills transfer to the golf swing. Having teammates there as caddies adds a social element, making it even more entertaining. If people actually watched, it would likely be a great time. But the fact that we're even questioning whether fans will pay attention highlights the problem. This is Caitlin Clark, the player who broke viewership records, sold out arenas, and got everyone talking about women's basketball. And now, an off-season event with her teammates might go unnoticed. That's a massive drop in interest in a very short time. The WNBA needs to figure out how to maintain engagement during the off-season. Storylines, content, and reasons for fans to stay connected are essential. Other leagues do this well. The NBA offseason is almost as engaging as the regular season, with free agency, trades, summer league, and constant news. The WNBA's offseason, by contrast, has been mostly silent, and that silence is killing the momentum they worked so hard to build. Sophie Cunningham's presence at the tournament should need to be analyzed as a major clue about her future with the team. But with so little happening, fans read into every small detail. That's not healthy for the league or the players. The Fever organization's minimal social media coverage of Sophie is odd. If she's an important part of the team, why isn't she being promoted more? If the organization wants to keep her, shouldn't they show that she's valued? The lack of coverage may mean nothing, or it may hint at something happening internally. Either way, it has created unnecessary speculation. The broader issue is clear. The WNBA had something special and failed to sustain it. They had mainstream attention, new fans, and strong momentum. But poor decisions, unnecessary drama, and lack of off-season engagement have let it slip away. Now, the league exists mostly out of the public's mind, a huge missed opportunity. Caitlin Clark playing golf with Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hall should be a fun, engaging story to keep fans connected during the quiet months. Instead, it barely makes waves, a stark reminder of where the league's attention has gone. Hopefully, things pick up as the season approaches. Right now, though, the WNBA off-season feels like it barely exists. Oh yes, Caitlin Clark got her teammates to caddy for her. And yes, the off-season remains about as exciting as watching paint dry. A year ago, this would have been huge news. Now, it's just happening while everyone's attention is elsewhere. If you enjoyed this reality check, hit that like button and subscribe for more content.